You, the NRA, are teaming up with hunters and members of the Game and Fish Commission to make sure that voters aren't fooled by these claims that the anti-gunners and the anti-hunting groups are making about Prop 109. Tell us about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, the Humane Society of the United States, who Wayne Pacelli, the executive director or president of the Humane Society of the United States, has come out and said that if they could ban all sport hunting in a moment, they would.
Mm-hmm.
And he said other things about banning hunting. Their representatives on Capitol Hill would not admit to Congressman Don Young that they wouldn't work to ban hunting. And so these people are against us on Proposition 109. And what they're telling the public right now is that this is a power grab somehow by the legislature of Arizona, which is completely false. It's an outright lie. What this is an initiative that will make hunting and fishing in Arizona a constitutional right. What that does is it elevates it from a privilege, which the government can take away at will, to a right. And what it also does is it places limits on the legislature, and it places limits on the Game and Fish Commission that essentially say, to paraphrase, they say that all wildlife law has to be done with a mind toward wildlife conservation and the preservation of hunting and fishing in the state of Arizona. So if the idea of this were to make hunting unlimited or to make unlimited bag limits and things like what the other side is trying to say, then how would that be in the furtherance of preserving hunting in the state of Arizona? It wouldn't. It's counterintuitive, and as usual, our opponents are lying about this.
Yeah, and you're right. I was reading. They basically say this proposal puts politics ahead of science. But we all know when they talk about science, we've talked to the experts, and these claims are totally false, and that these groups really don't know about hunters and the role they play when it comes to wildlife management.
Well, it's absolutely true, and hunters were the first. I mean, Theodore Roosevelt, was the first to say that we should use science-based management, and that's a great thing when we use real science, not junk science like that. The crazy things that they've done in the past and said that is science. For instance, the whole issue about lead and condors. We know that that's junk science.
Yeah.
What we're saying is if you have biologists, qualified game and fish department biologists that say you can hunt more deer in an area or you should hunt less deer in an area based on the area's carrying capacity, that's good science, and hunters have always listened to that. Proposition 109 will enshrine science-based wildlife management in the Arizona Constitution, and it'll keep animal rights activists and radicals from passing emotion-based bans on hunting like they did on the Michigan dove hunt, like they did on the California mountain lion hunting ban, and the New Jersey bear hunting ban, and it will prevent this emotion-based wildlife management, which only hurts wildlife and hunting in the long run.
I thought, is his name Jack? Is it Husted, the Game and Fish Commission?
Jack Husted, yeah.
I thought he summed it up pretty well when he talked about why this is needed. And he said, he called all of these false claims Disneyfication of hunting. He said they see the Lion King and they make these emotional decisions. But guess what, folks? There ain't no Lion King.
He's absolutely right. And it really is the way that the Humane Society of the United States does things. They put one-eyed puppies on television in order to raise money, and then they use that money, which people think they're using, which people think they're donating to help one-eyed puppies, and they use it to ban hunting in the states. Mm-hmm. And we can't allow them to do that. And what happens is when you have wildlife management by the initiative process, and we have this primarily in the western states, where if you get enough signatures, you can put something on the ballot. When you have something like this, what happens is you reduce wildlife management to who can produce the coolest and most emotional and sexiest 30-second spot, and how many times they can run it on TV. And then what happens is those people that are paying attention to their families and going here and there to baseball games and other things, they see these ads and they say, oh my God, this proposition is going to do a bad thing, I better vote no. And that's or I better vote yes. Banning mountain lion hunting or banning bear hunting or other things. And we've seen it happen throughout the states, and we're just not going to let it happen in Arizona. And it's very important that NRA members do whatever they can to support Proposition 109. If you're in Arizona, not only do you need to get out and vote for it, but you got to get your family to vote yes on Prop 109. And then the NRA sent out a bumper sticker and an information sheet to every member in the state of Arizona, and they all need to get those on their cars and read that information sheet.
And bottom line is these anti-hunting groups are the worst thing that could happen to these species that they claim they're trying to preserve.
Well, it's absolutely true, because when they ban hunting, here's what happens. For instance, they banned mountain lion hunting in California. So what happens? But now the government of California has to send government sharpshooters out to shoot mountain lions. They're killing more mountain lions than sport hunters ever did. Mountain lions have attacked people. We've all heard the stories. We've all seen it on the news. The mountain lions are also eating endangered bighorn sheep in California. And then the state of California has to pay in order to replace those desert bighorn sheep, not desert bighorns, but bighorn sheep, the endangered ones, and have to pay to replace them so that they don't get sued by the federal government. So it's absolutely absurd. They're spending millions and millions of dollars when all they'd have to do is have a regulated hunting season for mountain lions in California the way they used to have, and they could control the populations to the point that they wouldn't have all of these ancillary problems.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out November 2nd what's going to happen out there. But are you hearing good comments from the public supporting this?
Yeah, we are. I mean, when we go out and we talk to people and we talk to reporters and we're able to explain the issue to them and we sit down and we read it to them, they understand it. Anybody who reads Proposition 109, and they can get it online, they can get it at nraila.org/yes on 109. You can read the proposition. It's very simple. Anybody that reads it understands it. It's only these lawyers that work for the Humane Society, the Animal Defense League, these lawyers that think that your dog ought to be able to go get an attorney when you don't give them enough biscuits. Those people are the ones that are confusing the issue. They're putting a lot of disinformation out there, and they're trying to confuse people. And we've got to stop them. It's the NRA's job to stop them, and we're going to do it.